Hey guys, I want to do this recording for a no bullshit look at how people who are at the 10K to 100K per month actually do it. So I want to go into the details of the specifics of what you do so that you can either apply them or you can get someone else to apply them for you if you don't know how to do it. This isn't for people that are just starting out, that are say 0 to 2.5K per month. If your revenue is anywhere between about 5K to 50K per month, this will work for you. These are business truisms. They're not gimmicks. These are things that fundamentally work if you apply them and apply them correctly. So we're going to be looking at the 10K to 100K per month online expert. So if you're an online expert, which is self-explanatory, you could be a nutritionist, dietitian, yoga teacher, coach, consultant, any service provider selling high ticket, low ticket courses. This will apply to you. And we're going to go through three specific things. I've given them some quite fancy names. And the three ones are £1 million foundations, synergistic structure, and compounding lead gen. But this is basically getting the foundations of your business correct, then having a structure that is conducive to those really strong foundations in order to generate money for a business model that is capable of generating that type of money that we're looking at today. And then a compounding lead gen, which basically having lead generation that gradually scales up so you can get to whatever level you're looking to get to. Some of our happiest clients are at 12 to 15K, others are at 75K to 80K. Doesn't matter, whatever makes you happy. Before we start, you must be incredible at what you deliver to clients. It doesn't matter who you are. Marketing is useless if there's no substance and quality. It's just giving a turd of Ferrari and asking it to drive. So you can't be crap at delivering to clients and have no substance, not be qualified. This won't work. You'll just be a bit of a bullshit artist. So you obviously have to be good at what you do, like solving a particular problem. So let's get into step one, knowing that that's all true and correct. So first of all, we're looking at is £1 million foundations. So premium foundations must solve a problem your ideal client values the most. You must have differentiated features that stand you out from the crowd, and you must have a clear target who will be easy to sell to. Just before we jump into those three at the bottom, I just bring your attention back to over here. Let me break these threes down. You must be able to solve your ideal client, solve a problem your ideal client values most. Most people solve either a very generic problem that keeps them at a very low revenue because it's not valuable enough, and they target people that don't care about it enough. You have to be able to do those two things, have a specific problem, and then have an ideal client, or what's also known as a customer avatar, that really values that, not kind of values it, really values it. Okay, so that's the first step that you need to do. The second step, then, you need to have differentiated features that stand you out from the crowd. If you do the same thing, like you just randomly do a 3-month retainer or 12 sessions over 12 weeks and email access and 1-hour sessions, that's the same thing every single type of service provider said in the niche. You've got to be really creative at how you solve people's problems and get them to their North Star. That needs to be different there, which is what you need to work on. And then the third thing then is a clear target of who will be easy to sell to. This comes onto the customer avatar, but it's getting really clear on about 5 to 6 specific things that tells you who you're working with, like what's their income level, what's their job, what's their biggest pain points, where are they or where do they live. There can be several things like that that tell you where they are. Why this is important is deep down when you go into who you're speaking to, so in your structure and then also in your lead gen. This not only ups your conversion rate like by 1 million times, it also makes things a lot cheaper for you to do as well. So a lot of people are hesitant to do this, but you need to do it. Okay, we're not talking about making a grand here. We're talking about getting to stable, consistent 10K to 100K months. So £1 million foundations. These three are this is made up of three specific areas. One, you need to have a profitable niche. Okay, a profitable niche has 4 specific things. Please write these down. 1, as we said earlier, it solves a specific problem. 2, you get somebody to a real clear North Star or result. Cannot be general, cannot be something that you can't grab. It has to be something specific and tangible that your client can feel and really, really wants. Third thing, you need to make sure that it's targeting a specific segment. So that means that you're coming on to your ideal client or customer avatar, we said here. So whether that's women, men, certain age group, certain time of life, certain experiences they're going through. But there has to be a specific segment that you're really targeting that also care about that problem and a result to get to. And then the fourth thing is, as I mentioned earlier, you have to have a differentiated approach or differentiated stance. You can't be saying the same thing that anybody else, like just a chat GPT version of just saying the same thing about food or health or mindset. You have to have a differentiated approach that people care enough to listen to you because they're like, oh, Stanley has a different way of doing this. Okay, so that's the first bit. Really establish a profitable niche. The second thing then is looking at, having a suitable ideal client. If you have this great niche, but then you're trying to target people that don't give a fuck about it, then you're screwed. So I've had this with somebody before. I had a call with a year ago. They didn't end up working with me, which is, well, did they? No, they didn't. This is somebody else. They didn't end up working with me. Quite a sad story. They paid for mentorship for a year. They had quite a clever, good sounding niche. They were very good at what they were doing, but they were targeting the wrong clients. They were targeting business owners and they didn't give a fuck about what they were doing. But this mentor said, yeah, business owners, they've got money. It didn't work, right? And then they spent, I think it was about a year container, not getting anything good, all right, out of that, and the business was failing. So you need a suitable ideal client that is going to have the ability to work with you, to pay with you, that's going to care enough about the problem that you're solving. It's going to be the right segment. So you really have to have that suitable ideal client. Create a customer avatar to do this. Get some help with ChatGPT if you don't know how to do this yourself. We obviously do everything I'm mentioning here, but if you want to bootstrap it, there's plenty of things that you can figure out how to do that. The third thing then, you then build on top of these two things a world-class offer. So this is a no-brainer way of getting people to their end result. So the features of your offer, how much touch you provide them, so how much of you provide them, the resources that you give them, the information, everything is guaranteed if they just apply it or work with you or take the time working with you. In order to do this will solve their problem, make their life better, make more money, have more freedom, reach any goal that they have. You need to have a world-class offer. A world-class offer, very simply, needs to be very, very high in value. So it needs to be way more than what they're paying, the discrepancy between it. So, for example, a £70 thing of moisturizer, as you can probably tell, I wouldn't get. I had no value to me. Yet my partner would probably think nothing of spending that because her value discrepancy is huge for that. Whereas to me, it's like, why would I spend that? But for her, it's like looking down at it and saying, why wouldn't I spend that for the results or whatever I'd get? It's the same thing with your offer. You need to make sure that it doesn't matter about the price point necessarily, and that's a whole different conversation, but about the price point, you need to make sure that the discrepancy between the price and the value that they're getting is higher. So that's stage one for a world-class offer. Second thing, the offer has to be so good and have such amazing features and be such a no-brainer that they're going to success that it lowers the fear. You have to raise the value and lower the fear to have a world-class offer. And once you've built that, then you can obviously sell it, and it's easy to sell. Selling is easy. Once you're selling gold, it's easy, right? So that's the first thing. We build those foundations. That makes you capable to earn this type of money. If you have just a random niche that is generic, or you're targeting a general person that isn't really that clear, and you have an offer that's the same as everyone else, you're going to be stuck at those 0 to maybe 2K, 4K months. You're just going to be stuck there because your business model isn't good enough. It's not that you're not capable or not good enough, just your business isn't. And this is most people out there. Okay, so that's laying the foundations correctly, doing our brick by brick approach. This will save you years of unprofitable and unscalable business boredom. Once the foundations of your business have £1 million vibe, you've got to bring it to life. What that's saying is don't try and do everything at once and do lots of things poorly. You want to focus on building this really profitable niche, even if it takes you like a week to figure out, or it takes you less if you work with someone properly. And then you move on to the ideal client, and then you move on to the world-class offer. It's what we call, when we work with people, the brick by brick approach. Lay each brick perfectly, you'll build the perfect house. So that's what you want to do, and it'll save you years of doing it. You do all of these average, you will be doing the same thing in 5 years' time. I see it all the time. Okay, next, synergistic structure. Okay, synergistic structure. Basically, your business model, in order to have synergistic structure, must have a credible and authoritative and go-to feel. Okay, let me go through these one by one, actually, and then I'll summarize it. You need to make sure that when people are arriving and seeing you, whether it be online or in person, that they're seeing credibility, they're seeing a bit of an authority, so you know what you're doing and you can solve their problem, and you are the go-to person for it. People can just tell if you're not really confident in what you do, or you don't really know what you're doing and you're just sort of blagging it. Even if you will have some skills that can help them, you can just tell. You can go onto an Instagram profile or a landing page, whatever, and you can see the amateurs. You want to have that, oh, this person is legit, okay? And you build that through the structure in your business that we'll go through in a second. The second thing, you need to be easy to buy from, and it needs to be easy to run as well, your business. So it needs to be easy that when people want to work with you, it's easy to buy. They feel this nurturing process. It's simple. It's click here, download that. Onboarding's all easy. That all needs to be incredible. If there's any weakness in that, or there's any bits that make your clients go, that doesn't seem quite right, you're going to struggle, you're going to lose people. Okay, so you need to be easy to buy from, and it also needs to be easy to run. This means your systems, your processes, from the basic stuff to the slightly more complex stuff, needs to be seamless. Because when businesses grow to sort of 10, 15K, up to especially 40K, if you don't have certain things in place, it just, all the money does is add stress. Like, that's all it does. It then changes. You need to almost upgrade your systems, processes, and automations once you get to the 40, 50K. Because it's like rising up the leagues in football, as one of my mentors used to say. So you need to make sure that it's easy to run, and that's through systems, automations, and processes. And the second thing, your business model, it's got to make sure that it creates client retention and monthly recurring revenue. Client retention meaning that you're so good at what you do, people stay with you, and therefore the lifetime value of the client is great. They don't just work with you once and spend $1,000 with you. They work with you many times or over a long period of time, so that they're worth 10,000 to you, because their value grows up either to the money that they're receiving back, the extra things they can do in their life, the confidence that they feel, whatever it could be, whatever your niche is. And MRR, monthly recurring revenue, it's just making sure that you have money flowing into your bank account each month, that you can predictably see what your base level is going to be, instead of feast and famine. Okay, instability is the enemy of every business owner. So let's go through these. So remember, synergistic structure just basically means that your niche, your profitable niche that we're talking about, the offer that we're looking at, and your ideal client, all then flows into a really strong structure where they can work with you, and it can all feel seamless. It can all feel congruent. So this is a few different things. There's 5 main ones. First of all, making sure that you have authority touch points here. Let's make sure that your landing page and your socials, all the copy is showing you as this person that is having this premium, incredible offer, that is attracting and focused on this particular customer avatar. It all needs to be aligned to that, because if there's chinks in the armor, you then lose more authority, and you're missing out on your ideal clients and people reaching out to you. So all your landing pages and socials need to stick to that. As I said, all the copy, the imagery, everything like that really needs to be on point. The second thing that needs to be seamless purchasing. Like, it's got to be easy to buy from you. It can't be like some average bank transfer or whatever. Like, make sure you have Stripe, PayPal, all these things. Make sure it's all the details there. Make sure you're constantly adding value throughout the buying process. Okay, all these things are really simple to do, but lots of people don't do them because they're busy. The third thing, this is probably the biggest part of synergistic structure. This is having a seed to tree sales funnel. So as soon as people become aware of you, so, a normal funnel, aware of you into buying and then aftercare, all of that through there is a beautifully nurturing process, whereby you are adding value through every process. You're building trust through every process, so that when it comes to buying, it is a much less intimidating thing for somebody to do. It's always difficult when you buy anything, because we have insecurities in our head, or shall I do this, or shall I do something cheap? That's normal. Your job is to lower the fear that's happening. Okay, just like we talked about earlier with offers, you've got to lower the fear in the offer so that it's easy for people to buy with you. So that funnel, so from the ad that you do, to the landing page, to the discovery call, the how they book in the discovery call, like the booking form that you do, to the sales process, to your sales presentation, to your pitch, like all those things over, it's got to be really nice, really simple, like amazing. Okay, it has to be really on point. Okay, all of that. That funnel then creates that synergistic flow. They're seeing authority, seeing credibility throughout that whole purpose. The fourth thing that people don't talk about, red carpet customer experience. You've got to make sure that when you find clients, in order to get retention, you've got to roll out the red carpet, give them surprises and bonuses, and not these bullshit ones that they don't want. Like, oh, I'm going to give you a free 1-page of PDF. Don't give a shit about that. Like, add like really valuable things, like extra sessions that they didn't think they were going to get. Like a prize draw, or a feature on your page, or invite them on the podcast, or shoot in a podcast for them that they didn't even think about. Things that are like really creative and out there, that are like insane value. Like we do this in our academy, and people are blown away. And the fifth thing is memorable and creative branding. So it's similar to authority touch points, but it's making sure that the colors that you use, like how you're showing up, creatives like video, carousel on social media, your ad creatives, everything is aligned to that world-class, premium, exclusive, whatever the things are up above that we looked at earlier, it has to be all aligned to these things. Okay, so those are the 5 things for synergistic structure. So what you basically have is the foundations of what it is that you are doing and who's it for. Then you're putting that into making sure that the structure is seamless so your business can run effectively and you are represented as the person that you are. And then what we do is we need to move on to from synergistic structure to the next bit. Okay, so your business is now a well-oiled machine at this stage. You're able to actually generate these 10K, 100K plus months. That not only looks the part, but delivers better than your competitors. That's where the riches are. Next, you need eyes on your business to sell to. So then what you need to do next is lead generation. Lead generation seems to be the graveyard for most businesses. They tend to build something that they think is good. That's usually the problem I see. They think they've got a really good offer. Usually they don't, but let's imagine that they do. Okay, they have a good offer, good at what they do. They've defined a niche, but it's going to the right person. They built up a structure whereby even if it's not world class, they can still have decent touch points where people will work with them. They then are unable to either do or understand lead generation. Okay, consistent leads basically need 3 different types of lead gens of the following. So either inbound, outbound, organic, or paid. Inbound is people attracting people to you. So this is things like social media content. Outbound is reaching out to people generally. Okay, I'm overgeneralizing these terms, but it could be like warm DM outreach, things like that. Organic and paid can both fit into inbound and outbound, but it's either organic, doing it for free, doing it yourself, okay, not really paying for anything, and then paid is obviously paid, like ads, okay? So you need a mix of really 3 of those, okay? The problem is, if you only have 1 lead gen, you can absolutely smash it and have a 10K to 100K just from 1 lead gen, but you leave yourself susceptible to if you have a bad month. Like if you just do paid ads can sometimes you can have a bad month, or a client can pull out last minute that's cost you a lot to acquire, and then it eats into your cash flow because you've invested in other areas of the business. You don't want to be open to that. So it's better to have 3 or sometimes more, but 3 for most people, lead gens across inbound, outbound, organic and paid, that you can, they can all be working for you, and then you can optimize and work on. I'll be honest with you, to run 3 yourself, it is quite difficult to do and to do well. So this is where you need to outsource. And to be honest with you guys, you're not stupid. You need to be getting to 10K, 100K a month. You need to be investing in these things. You can't do all of these world class. You can bootstrap it to a certain extent, but get the right people to work on these. And if you want us to help you with that, just let me know. Okay. The automated lead generation process then. So this works into a few key areas. Okay. So there's about, nowadays, there are new ones that come on the market, sort of come and go, but there's about 7 to 8 good lead gens that will work for most businesses if done correctly. These are the 5 main ones that we do, and it's just we see working for 98% of businesses. Okay, so first one, bingeable social media content. You've got to have content that isn't just chat GTP or Dolly, just churned out 30 things like that. It doesn't work. You'll be generic, as we talked about above. You need to have social media content that is differentiated, that is bingeable, that people see, hey, Sharon, as we talked about earlier, really knows what they're talking about, really understands my problem, and is really speaking to me. If you just pump out generic stuff, it ain't going to work. If it doesn't have personality, tone of voice, it doesn't look good, it's not shareable, likable, it's not going to go too far. And you need to be doing that with, the right niche to the right customer avatar for about 3 months at least to start seeing stuff from that. We had a client called Gemma. After 6 months, she went from 300 to 11.3K following 250,000 views on her reels because she did all of this correctly from the top all the way to the bottom. And that was her lead generation process, was bingeable social media content. The other one you can use here is 3 times return on ad spend meta ads. So we use meta ads, Instagram and Facebook, for those of you not sure. But you can have really good ads, and ads is not only just having a good ad copy and creative, it's also the whole funnel, like we talked about above here, so seed to tree sales funnel. It's having all of that nailed down. If you can then get a good, click-through rate of above 1%, if you can then have a landing page that, generates, 25% conversion onto your workshop, webinar, PDF, whatever it is, and then of that 5 to 10% jump on a call, you're looking pretty good. And then you can make a really good return on ad spend. But again, see how this is all connected. If you have a really good world-class offer that is profitable, the niche is good, all of that. Otherwise, this is what I talked about earlier. Otherwise, you're just going to waste money, okay, doing any of these things. Okay. Third thing, have a world-class free lead gen. Okay. A lot of people talk about having a lead gen, and I see them just creating like basic things that they think is cool, but they tend to forget that there's a human being on the other end that really wants a problem solved. So a world-class lead gen is, a crap lead gen is a one-pager PDF of how to make yourself happy or something like that. It's been done for the last 10 years. Forget it. A world-class free lead gen would be AI roadmap that builds you a full roadmap of your goal to 10K months or 50K months or 10K to 100K months. Guess what? That's what we've got. Okay. So that's a world-class thing. Second one, it could be basically an app that you build that people put in their revenue, their followers, and then their amount of leads per month, answer a load of questions, and then it generates using AI exactly like what your business potential is in your current business model. Guess what? We've got that. Okay. So I'm not just telling you what to do. We actually have these things and they're phenomenal. Okay. So you need a world-class lead gen as well to send people to, not just a bullshit crap one that's been done a million times. Fourth one, warm outreach, reaching out to new followers, people that have liked your work, reaching out to people that are interested in your niche on hashtags, build relationships. Be social on things like social media or through emails as well, like through different warm email lists or your own email lists. Reach out to people, build personal relationships. If you do like 5 or 10 of those a day and really start to build relationships, within a few weeks, if you do this yourself, or a lot quicker if you outsource this, you'll start to get some calls booked in and start to get some clients from that. And then the final one that's really good is OPA, or other people's audiences. If you have a really good, let's go back up again, guys, so just so you can see, if you have a really good profitable niche that solves a really unique problem, you do it in a different way, and you've got a really clear ideal client. So even just those two things, you can get on podcasts just by having like a really differentiated approach or really good knowledge of how to do something. You can get on podcasts, you can go on lives with people, you can get you can get sent other people as referrals, and you can have a referral program because somebody in a different niche might point clients to something similar to you. All of these things are absolutely possible by doing it correctly. Okay. So hopefully that was a nice short 15 to 20 minute overview of how you can generate these 15 to 20K months. Okay. It's £1 million foundations, synergistic structure, and compounding lead gen. Remember though, you've got to be good at what you do. If this feels like a lot and you want this done yourself, feel free to reach out and we can talk through this. I can build you an AI roadmap that shows you exactly how you can do this yourself, and maybe me and the team can help you do it. But guys, hope that was helpful. I'll chat to you soon.